Now, I know people frown on frying bass or keeping bass and eating them, but you know, somebody like me, I only bass fish. So I don't sockeye fish, crappie fish, whatever you want to call it, brent fish. So every once in a while, my family says, oh, I'd like to have a fish fry. So what I'll do, and it happens every time when they ask for that, I'll go out, if I can catch 4 pound and a half bass, I'll bring them home. 4 of them feeds my family. And I'm going to show you how I slice it, how I cut it, and how I fry it. And if you try it, I promise you, you're going to love this. So, I mean, a bigger fish tastes the same as a smaller one, but you know, if a fish is up there, you can see I had one in the film earlier, 3.5 pounds. I let it go. I'm not going to bring that home. I want that to get big to an 8-pounder, 10-pounder where I can put it on the wall. That's my bucket list. Is I want 1, 8, 10, anything over 8 to put on the wall. I don't have that. So I'm going to show you how I do it. You can see I don't have this big fancy setup to fillet fish because I will never bring 4 fish home just to put it in the freezer. You know, they have to want a fish fried. I'm gonna bring 4 fresh fish home, and then we're gonna have the fish fry. So stick around, and I'm gonna show you how I fillet it and how I batter it, fry it, the whole 9 yards. It's awesome, and I'll see nobody else doing it this way. Here we go. Get down, girl. She loves. I give her little pieces of the fish. First trick is you've got to get your meat, your fish, where it's ice cold. So put it in an ice chest, and it's going to make it a lot easier to run your slivers, like I'm going to show you. That's what I call them, as slivers. So what we're going to do is fillet them first. So what I do, try to keep my right hand dry through the whole deal, and I'll come back here. I get my first cut, and I try to get as much of this meat as I can too, instead of just going straight. And then do it like you do anybody else does it, you know. So go ahead and do the other side. They're not in spawn. And this is probably one of the bigger ones of them that I kept. Alright, put this in the trash, get it down here. She loves raw fish. So what then I'll do now is I'll use this, and I will cut the bone out right here, okay? Now, this is still good on the top side. So what I'll do is I'll take this top side off right here. That's a chunk right there that people are throwing away. All right. So let me get her something before she has a fit. There you go, my girl. Now, go. You're not gonna go, are you? You're gonna stay right there the whole time. All right. So what I do now, see, now you got this big old chunk of meat. But I want them thin like this because I cut my bass very thin. So I turn it on this side first, and I'll start about here, and I'll start cutting pieces. Just little slivers off of it like that. Make sure your knife is very, very sharp. Right there. Right there. Right there. Now this makes it look like you got a whole lot more fish than just 4 fish. And it feeds our family, and we always have leftovers. Can you see that? It's not paper thin, but it's thin. Just like that. And that's probably thin enough for that one. So that's one fillet. I got a handful of meat right there that we're gonna fry up. So same thing right here. Cut this off. Right there. Don't throw this back piece away. Look at that. Y'all, that's a chunk. That's just like what I've been taking off of there. No bones in it. See, I'm already on the bone. She gets mad though because she wants a little piece. She likes, there you go. She likes her sushi, man. Alright, same thing here. Sliver. Right there. I know you haven't tried this. You're going to see the mound of fish I'm going to have once it's cooked. I guess you could say it's a potato chip, but it's not, you know. And bass is very good. It's a beautiful white meat when it's cooked. There we go. Another handful of meat. And you saw those two big pieces I've got that usually get thrown away. So that's one right there. That's more than one person can eat, you know, a normal person. Now my kids, they eat it like crazy. So let's go in here. So I'm trying to keep my right hand from getting all wet and nasty. Instead of taking that big 3.5 pounder, I mean, I know that's embarrassing because it's so small, but there's plenty enough meat on this and you're not killing a big fish. So I can't tell you how many times I've seen fishing over the years a 4-pounder, 5-pounder thrown in an ice chest to cut their heads and kill them. Heartbreaking. So I get where you're coming from about not cooking bass, but you can cook bass if that's all you fish. If that's all you fish, you can cook that. But do it like this, and you're not wasting a big fish. Another one in there. What do y'all do with your throwaways? You trash fish whenever you finish. You know, I'd like to know. I throw mine in the ditch. Let the wild animals. We're kind of in the country, so we let the wild animals eat them. All right, so I'll get back with my good knife. I don't know what to do with it. There it is. Same thing. And look, for you Sac-A-Lait guys, they come home after fishing all day and have to clean 50 Sac-A-Lait. That's not me. I think I would get tired of fishing. because, you know, I don't know. It's enough I gotta come home, wash my boat. But to come home and clean 50 sockeye, no. And I'm, you know, I can go faster. I'm doing it slow where you can see what I'm doing. Ooh, we got wind kicking up, y'all. Like maybe a little storm coming. So I got another handful of meat right here, you know. Don't forget about the backside. So I hit the rib cage right here and I follow the ribs down. Look at that chunk. Now you see, now it's empty. There's nothing on it. Awesome. Here we go. Got little eggs in this one. Oops. Even on this small fish, I'm able to pull this, you know, a piece off of it. And I messed up on that one. I'm gonna give my little girl this one. There you go, girl. So it makes sense what we're doing right here. So, I mean, look at that. That's 2 fish. That's a whole lot of fish fried, you know, once it's fried up. And I put a good batter on it where it's real crispy. All right, so we come inside. Let's take a look. Let's see. You can see 4 little bass. We're going to go ahead and rinse them. Cool water. All right, so I'm just going to use Tony's. I know everybody's heard of Tony's. You can use any Creole seasoning you want. You don't have to go crazy because I'm using these 2 right here. This is the real crispy, and this is more like the original style. This would be like this. This is too much, so what I do is I mix them, and then I like that blend. So whatever way you like yours breaded, do it that way. You do you, you know. So gonna come in here and put a little bit of Tony's in it. Get some mustard. I'm gonna put buttermilk. So, you know, you see people soaking it in there, battered and coming out, and you know, all this stuff. I batter it all right here. No matter how much fish I have to cook, this is how I do it. So right there, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up a couple of eggs, or beat up a couple of eggs. Just get it mixed up. I'm gonna pour that in there. So that's 2 eggs. And I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this right here. Pick any one you want. I just wouldn't use the crispy on this part, what I'm doing of the batter. So I am using just classic fish fry. And I'm gonna, not the whole bag. I kind of do it to where I feel it, so you can see it wasn't a whole lot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and mix it up. See, it's still a little runny, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some more the fish fry in there. I want it thick, you know, not to where it's, I don't know how to explain it other than you'll see what it looks like. So that's probably half the bag. Yeah, that's probably half the bag I used. Yeah, this is feeling better. Yeah, I mean, if you could feel it, you know, you could see it how it's, and the eggs helping it do that too. So it's binding it to the fish. So I'll leave it like this 30 minutes. Let it soak this up. And all right, you can see I got all kind of stuff going on over here. I hadn't even gone outside yet to do the other stuff of what I'm, getting ready for everything out there. So like I said, I'm gonna take a half of this that I have left, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Just get you a Tupperware with a lid. It's pretty cool. Works pretty good. Sometimes I don't even use a lid. You got to take, with this type of fish fry I'm doing, you have to take each piece and make sure it has batter on it. You can't just throw a chunk in there and then throw them in there. Because you're gonna have fish without batter on it. This fish, when it's thin like this, has to have batter on it. This is good. I just don't like it where it's dominant, where it's so crispy. I don't know. It's a different taste. I like it mixed, so I've always mixed it. You can see this is more like a flour. This one is just seasoned. So all of this stuff is seasoned. I seasoned my fish with Tony's. My wife is not crazy about things being overly peppered, so I don't need to season this flour again. It's okay. So I have that. While I was waiting, I went ahead and I chopped up a purple or red onion, and I put a layer on the bottom. So I'm gonna put my fish on top of this where it doesn't sit on a moist napkin. I have my lemons quartered because I'm gonna squeeze some lemon juice on each layer of fish as it's been cooked. All right, so you see I have my black iron pot out. It's seasoned very well. I've been having it since I was in my 20s. I think my mom gave it to me. I don't remember where I got it from, but I got it about half full of oil. I have vegetable oil in it, and we're gonna bring it to 350 degrees. I'm gonna use a very reliable thermometer. It's called a Thermopin. I use for smoking my meats and stuff to make sure I'm at 350 degrees before I drop a piece of fish in there. So, because I want it to shock the fish and the crust to just start binding to it right away. So let's get this thing lit up. Go ahead and I'm gonna get this all mixed up real good. So I got, it's crispy, but yet it's got some original in there, so it's not so crispy. You'll see what it comes out like. So I'll grab a handful of it, spread it around. That's about what I'm gonna fry for my first cook. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these floured up. Make sure that they're all, each piece has a nice flour base to it. So if you look at it, right there, and that's it right there. That's what I'm looking for. Right at 350, and then we're gonna roll with it. All right, 350 degrees. Alright, I'll fire a little bit, and then that'd be easy, just trying to toss it around a little bit, very easy. I want to knock the crust off. So what I do then, after I get it out of here, I put it on those onions. I'll squeeze some lemon on it, put another layer of onions on top of it, put more fish on top, and then squeeze some more until both of those lemons are just squeezed out on there. And that's it. I get everything else cooked. You can see how pretty. They get to be golden brown. The way I check them is I'll probe it. And if it stays on my probe and the fish comes out, then the batter's set and it's ready. It's done. All right. See how pretty that is? Okay, that's it. So, take a look at that. I'm gonna turn this off for now. And I'll show you what it looks like on here in just a second. There we go. Beautiful. 4 fish. Does that look like 4 fish? That's a good little amount of fish right there. All right, so you can see what they look like. Got a pile of fish for just 4 little bass, and you saw how 2 of them are really small. So I thank y'all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that little alert button. Let you know whenever I do put another cook on. So thank y'all, and y'all have a blessed day. All right, so there we go. We got it plated up. We've got hush puppies, our bass, some sweet potato fries, some coleslaw, and some tater sauce with some onions on top. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed watching. I hope you learned something different. Let me know how yours goes. Thank y'all.